of a guy playing outstanding football on a team that's on a roll, the New England Patriots and Drake Maye get a W last night, a comeback W over the Baltimore Ravens, 28-24. There's a lot of storylines for this game, particularly on the Baltimore side, which we'll get into in a few minutes. Let's focus on New England. So I said coming into the week, and I picked New England to win. And thank you very much, Patriots. You were my final, if I were a Batman pick, +3.5. And you guys cover for me, so thank you very much. But I said this was going to say a lot about where New England was truly at as a contender in the AFC. It's like at halftime of the game against the Bills, it's like, oh my God, like they're clearly the best team in the NFL. They're up 21-0 on Josh Allen. Like, we know Josh is going to respond. And then the defense collapses. Outside of one big play from Trayvon Henderson, the offense doesn't really get rolling. Drake Maye has a late pick. It's like, oh gosh, they played a team in their weight class and they kind of withered a little bit. At home, what are they going to do? On the road, a desperate Ravens team. The Ravens are as good as the Patriots, but that's still a hard place to go win. And you could say the Lamar injury, but Lamar wasn't playing great before that. And Tyler Huntley, we talk about good backups, Malik Willis. Tyler Huntley is one of those guys, 2022 Pro Bowler, of course, as we all remember. And down double digits in the fourth quarter, I'm thinking, God, this team's kind of fraudulent. We're going to have to readjust our expectations. The Patriots, like, great year, but maybe we got a little too ahead of our expectations. Like, they're a good team, playoff team, might win a playoff game, but they are not a contender. And Drake may say, yeah, Bryson, shut up. Here's what I'm going to do in this game against the Ravens defense. 2 touchdowns, did have 2 turnovers, but a 70% completion. Drake Maye is one of the most accurate quarterbacks in football. 380 passing yards, a 102.5 rating, QBR 0 to 100 of 83.5. And of course, he led the game when he drive down double digits the fourth. New England, storms to a comeback. So there's a lot of things that are going for this Patriots team. Obviously, they have an elite quarterback in Drake Maye, who I don't think should be the MVP this year. The fact of the matter is, I saw this stat from Doug Clawson, who I quote off on the show, is an elite statistician. But people saying Drake Maye should be MVP. He should be second. It's Stafford, clearly. From Doug Clawson. Matt Stafford currently leads the NFL in pass yards, pass touchdowns, and passer rating. In the last half century, 3 quarterbacks have led all 3 of those categories in the same year. Brady in 07, Kurt Warner in 01, Marino in 84. All of them won MVP. Stafford's the MVP unless he just has a disastrous last 2 games of the season, which I don't anticipate. But with that being said, and this is one of the wildest stats, some of this speaks to how weak New England's schedule was, and some of this is the Patriots just weren't very good last year, is that Drake Maye has never had a come-from-behind win, which is a shocking stat, but it is true. Never had a come-from-behind W as a starter in the NFL. Young player, but it's still a surprising stat that he got it in December of his second year. But he got it. The throw to, what's the kid's name? I think Johnson. I mean, there are probably 3-4 quarterbacks at most that can make that throw. Down the sideline, right over the outreach arms of a defense back to where only a receiver can get it, right there at the pylon to give your guy an opportunity to catch it and get right in the end zone. That's elite quarterbacking at its finest. The 4th down throw that he made, in that game, Stephon Diggs stepping up and making catches. The movement, listen, maybe it's because Drake Maye is pale in his in his skin tone. Maybe that's what it is, but he is a better athlete than people gave him credit for coming into that draft process in 2024 out of North Carolina. New England has a better than average receiving core. Diggs has been great for this team this year, but think about some of the circumstances going against Drake Maye. Trayvon Henderson gets hurt. The offensive line is not having its best game of the season. There's some, especially in the fourth quarter, and I'm a big believer, do not blame the refs. That's loser behavior. You had multiple opportunities to win. That said, man, some of these officiating calls, be it the roughing the passer, be it that they should have called when they go low on Drake Maye, and then the blatant missed pass interference call on Marlon Humphrey late in the game. Kudos to New England. They overcame that. That's what true championship contenders do. They overcome stuff that doesn't go their way, but that's what they showed. The defense gets stops late on Tyler Huntley. Some of that was aided by poor coaching on Baltimore's part, but Drake Maye talked after the game about kind of the mentality of the team, but in particular the leadership qualities that Stephon Diggs has brought to the table. Drake Maye on Stephon Diggs after the game.
Yeah, Diggs, he people you have no idea what he means to this team. He's a leader. He's been great in the locker room. He wants football in his hand and delivers.
Started that first game in Buffalo, and it's just
deserves.
Yeah, and that's something that is also going to New England's favor, is the fact that there's something to be said about having good vibes, about the team loving each other. Like, listen, You don't have to be best friends with your teammates. Different sport, but Shaq and Kobe, we know what their relationship was. And guess what? They rammed through the NBA 3 straight years. Like, you don't have to be best friends. But it doesn't hurt if you are. When you see some of those post-game shots of Vrabel, and I've said this over and over about Vrabel, I've said it for years, especially this year since he's the Patriots coach now. Vrabel is all the best of Belichick without all the bad parts of Belichick. Belichick was this, wizard, mastermind, a guy who was ahead of his time as it relates to being able to manipulate the clock, manipulate rules to go in New England's favor. Vrabel's that same way. Listen, his clock management in stretches in that fourth quarter and throughout the season, I found to be brilliant. I'm a big stickler for clock management, and Vrabel has been outstanding at that. But he's without all the bad parts of Belichick, where it's doesn't really believe that much in camaraderie at the team and all these things, and not really close to his players. Brady and Belichick never had dinner in 20 years together. How does that happen ever? Like, I'm not saying your quarterback got to be, best buds in the whole wide world, but a dinner with your starting franchise quarterback who happens to be the greatest quarterback in the history of the game, like, feels like that'd help the relationship. You see Vrabel, hard-nosed. I'm sure he was, especially after blowing a 21-0 lead to Buffalo, division rival, chance to wrap up the AFC East. I'm sure he was coaching those guys hard this week. But after the game, hey, good job, man. Back slaps, butt slaps, whole thing, fist bumps, high fives, like, brings a great energy to the table. And that's what you've got to have. Ben Johnson is an offense coach, but he's kind of the same way. Like, there's something to be said about a guy who can coach guys hard. Great players want to be coached hard. Steph Curry wants to be coached hard by Steve Kerr. Brady wanted to be coached hard by Belichick. They want to be coached, but they also want to know, hey, coach has got my back. Players didn't always feel that way in New England with Belichick. Matter of fact, in many cases, they felt the opposite. Players in New England now, they know, Vrabel's got our back. He's the man. He loves us. And that matters for a team like New England that's trying to compete for a Super Bowl championship, and that was absolutely outstanding. On the side of the Ravens. So obviously, as a Steelers fan, I was overjoyed. As the host of Carving It Up, I was overjoyed because New England clinched my first 3-0 week, and it's kind of sad that it came in week 16. But hey, I'll take it while I can take it. That New England clinched my first undefeated, if I were a bet man, weekend. As a Steelers fan, I was overjoyed because, oh my gosh, we could be division champions next weekend. Either the Ravens lose to the Packers, and if they don't, okay, just go on the road and beat the terrible Cleveland Browns, and then we win the division. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.